so excited to have our friends Jeff and Sarah Larimore joining us. We always have those stories when folks at home say, whatever happened to those people that you did that story on? I'm so excited that we get to do a follow-up on you, Jeff. You were here with us in February, went to D.C. to talk about your sweet girl Sarah and her rare disease. You had a chance to stand in front of lawmakers and just talk to us about the trip. What happened when you went to D.C.?
The trip to Washington this year was really fascinating. It was in concert with the Rare Disease Legislative Advocates Organization, so it was a broader, wider scope of individuals for the benefit of rare disease through the United States. So on previous occasions when we took trips to Washington, D.C., we were representing Sarah's condition of cystinosis, but in this case we were with other people within the state of South Carolina working on patient advocacy representation to have a kind of global outreach of voices. And therefore share personal stories, but also talk about how they work in the patient advocacy world.
Now, when you were here in February, Sarah was not with us because you were feeling a little under the weather, but how are you feeling now?
Well, I'm feeling great.
You're feeling great. You look great.
Thank you.
So you're 10 years old. You're in the 4th grade.
Yes.
Do you feel like talking a little bit about your disease and what happens with it?
Sure.
Talk to the folks at home about what cystinosis is, Sarah.
Well, okay. You have to take a lot of medicine and you go through a struggle, but you always know once you get through it, it's going to be okay.
Wow, you are a smart girl. Man, that's a life lesson for all of us watching today.
It is. And Sarah's condition is one where she has around-the-clock medications, very timely oriented, and she takes an abundance of medication, and many of those with cystinosis do. So not only is it the kind of primary treatment for cysteamine replacement, but there's also a lot of supplements of potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, around-the-clock eye drops, because the prescription medication in pill form does not get to the crystals in the eyes.
Wow. So while you were in D.C., you had a chance to speak with Tim Scott and met a lot of our South Carolina lawmakers. What happened with that?
It was a great opportunity to talk briefly with Senator Scott, to meet for about 20 minutes with Congressman Wilson, who was kind enough to put in an application to join the Rare Disease Congressional Caucuses, which was one of our goals, because the state of South Carolina did not have representation on that caucus, but which is now a combined House and Senate organization. We also met with Representative Cohn from Tennessee. We also had the opportunity to speak in a breakfast setting with Chairman Upton of the Rare Disease Congressional Caucus leadership. And so that allowed us really to try and extend not only cystinosis awareness, but rare disease awareness to many of the decision makers. And it allowed many people, even patients that are older than Sarah and in the same age as Sarah, to participate in this kind of open forum of dialogue.
You know, if you just were walking the streets and bumped into Sarah, you would never know, that she was suffering with a rare disease. How many people worldwide are impacted by cystinosis?
Internationally, about 2,200. In the United States, it's approximately 500. From our contacts at the NIH and Bethesda, they say about 15 individual cases are diagnosed per year. And so what many families would tell you is over the years, there was no diagnosis or misdiagnosis because they never took maybe the right series of conditional scenarios or treatment options to get clarity on what the condition is.
Her symptoms, thank goodness she was diagnosed very young, but her symptoms were, dehydration, frequent urination, constant thirst. Things that could have easily been misdiagnosed for something else.
Many, when you talk about it in a medical forum, they say it's similar to juvenile diabetes. Yeah. And so, luckily for us and to the wonderful people at Palmetto Children's Hospital, the diagnosis for Sarah was fairly quick. Others have had years of no diagnosis. What's helpful is that early diagnosis that you achieve is that you can get on the treatment and into a rhythm where your conditions are starting to become manageably chronic. Still very challenging. Sarah is extraordinarily diligent in her needs for managing cystinosis. And she's got that willingness to tell people that this is what I have to do. And she rolls with those challenges that she has. And we're very, very proud of you, honey.
We are proud of you too, Sarah. I'm so glad I finally got a chance to meet you, sweet girl. Thank you so much for joining us. And you know what? Why don't you look in the camera one more time and say, it's hard, but you're going to make it.
Oh, it's a struggle. Life is a struggle, but I always know that I'm going to be okay.
There you have it, for the vows of babes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. We're going to send things over to Andrew with the details on what we're working on after the break.